From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordo, and this is your News 8 Daily for Friday, August 29th. Friday night football tonight. We have college football back this weekend, and of course it is a holiday weekend, so the weather, it is cooperating. We've had cool mornings this week, beautiful days. It's going to be a little bit of the same thing today. We're going to have a lot of sunshine out there. Highs in the mid-70s. It's going to be around the 60s for Friday night football, and then Saturday's looking like a beautiful day as well. iTeammate is digging into a stunning Washington Post report. It says the Colts and team owner Jim Irsay covered up his drug use and its impact on his health for several years before his death in May. iTeammate's Cody Fisher is looking for answers.
According to multiple anonymous sources that spoke to the Washington Post, Jim Irsay had 3 overdoses in the last 5 years of his life. One in 2020 in Turks and Caicos, one at his home in December of 2023, and one 12 days later in Miami. It was widely thought Irsay died here in Indianapolis, but the Post reports Irsay died in a hotel room in Beverly Hills. The reporting by the Washington Post reveals Irsay's doctor, Harry Haratunian, was with him at the Beverly Hills Hotel and signed the death certificate, saying the cause of death was natural and that he had been battling several chronic health issues. Haratunian is a prominent addiction specialist based in California. In a statement, the LA Medical Examiner's Office told me, in Los Angeles County, only sudden, violent, and/or unexpected deaths, or deaths in which the person has not seen their physician in the past 20 days, falls under the jurisdiction of the DME. Mr. Irsay's death did not meet the criteria to become a DME case. The Post's reporting shows Dr. Haratunian was with Irsay the day he died, which explains why the medical examiner's office did not do an autopsy or toxicology screening. Anonymous sources told the Post that Dr. Haratunian had been prescribing Irsay large amounts of opioids and ketamine, the same drug linked to the death of Friends star Matthew Perry. In a statement to the Post, Haratunian said, "I dedicated 18 months of my life to try and care for him, as a brother. We did everything we could to make him as comfortable as possible."
You stand straight up.
Irsay's battle with addiction is well documented. In 2014, he was pulled over in Carmel and convicted of DUI. Publicly, Irsay talked extensively about mental health and addiction. In 2020, his family founded Kicking the Stigma, which has now committed $32 million in mental health awareness, organizations, and research. According to the Washington Post investigation, the Colts organization tried to keep Irsay's overdoses in 2020 and 2023 secret because they were concerned the NFL or his fellow owners would ask him to step aside or sell the team. Irsay's daughters are now the owners of the team. In a statement, they said, "We continue to grieve the loss of our dad, a man defined not only by his role as owner of the Colts, but also by his resilience, his personal struggles, and his deep love for family, friends, and community. Throughout his life, our dad was open about his battles with addiction and mental health. He never claimed to be perfect. Instead, he used his voice to reduce stigma and advocate for those facing similar challenges with honesty, vulnerability, and compassion. The media is not the place to address inquiries about information which is disputed, lacks essential context, or involves private medical matters. Our focus remains on honoring our dad's legacy, his decades of philanthropy, his loyalty to the Colts and its fans, and his passion for mental health advocacy, music, and second chances. We ask for continued privacy as we move through this difficult time." Now, I put in a records request with the Beverly Hills Police Department to get their death investigation documents related to Irsay's death to see if it reveals any more information, but I haven't gotten that request back yet. For iTeammate, I'm Cody Fisher for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Leaders with Overdose Lifeline say there are ways to help people navigate addiction. News 8's Kat Sandoval talked to the organization's leader about her own story and how it's helping her help others.
I think one of the hard parts about addiction, substance use disorder, is that the person suffering feels a lot of their own personal shame. They don't want to admit and ask for help.
Inside Justin Phillips' office are photos of her 20-year-old son, Aaron, who died more than 10 years ago from a heroin overdose.
You know, my son, Aaron, who lost his life to opioid use disorder, didn't want to tell me that he was using again. So he skirted around it by saying other things, like, I'm having some challenges with my mental health, Mom, and I need to see someone. Because he didn't want to disappoint me. because he didn't want me to know, because he himself didn't want to be struggling yet again, right? And so that's that internal shame. It's really hard to put a finger on it, but it's real and it happens all the time.
After her son's death, she founded Overdose Lifeline to help others deal with the shame and stigma of addiction. Her organization helps individuals and families with resources, community, and access to treatment. Justin says a good indicator that a person might have an addiction problem is seeing a change in a person's behavior.
You know, addiction is a sneaky disease that causes people who are affected to cause harm to their family members because it's so insidious. Change in behavior, change in friends, change in spending habits, change in schedule would be the things I think we could first notice.
She says in the state of Indiana, you can call 211 to connect to a person who can help, and it's confidential. There are also support groups and free naloxone kits that can reverse opioid overdoses. Resources are there, but reaching out is the first step.
Recovery is possible, and that you're not alone, and that there are people that can support you and surround you and help you find your way.
I'm Kat Sandoval, Wish TV, wishtv.com.
Please remember Fletcher for the person he was and not the act that ended his life. Give your kids an extra hug and kiss today. We love you, Fletcher. You'll always be with us.
That's the grieving father, Jesse Merkel, speaking out about his 8-year-old son, Fletcher, one of 2 children killed in this week's school shooting in Minnesota. 10-year-old Harper Moisky also died. Her family says in a statement that they are shattered by the loss of their daughter. They are calling on lawmakers to address gun violence and what they call the mental health crisis in this country. A memorial for the shooting victims now sits outside the Annunciation Catholic Church. Authorities in Minneapolis have updated the number of young victims. They now say the gunfire wounded 15 children, all between 6 and 15 years old, one more than yesterday. Investigators say one child is still in critical condition. 3 parishioners in their 80s are also among the wounded. Your statewide news network covers Richmond, where police have arrested a woman for stealing an ambulance. Police say Amanda Kirkendall was already at the Wayne County Jail when she asked to be taken to the hospital shortly after midnight yesterday morning. When medics arrived, police say that Kirkendall jumped into the ambulance and drove off. There was a chase. It ended at the hospital, where police took her back into custody. Then they brought her back to the Wayne County Jail. In a post on Facebook, police say it is not exactly the round trip that she was hoping for. Staffers at the CDC are showing support for their now former leaders. In a video, they are seen rallying around several directors as they left in a dispute at the very highest levels of the health agency and the Trump administration. 4 senior officials have resigned in the aftermath of the firing of the CDC director. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. pushed for her ouster, and then the New York Times reports that the two clashed over Kennedy's anti-vaccine policies. Kennedy has named a top aide, Jim O'Neill, as interim director. O'Neill does not have a medical background.
There's a lot of trouble at CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people over the long term in order for us to change the institutional culture and bring back pride and self-esteem and make that agency the stellar agency that it's always been.
The situation at the CDC is raising concerns on both sides of the political aisle. At least 2 Republican senators are calling for more congressional oversight of the CDC following this week's shakeup. Let's go to Jane King now with your business headlines. She starts with a salmonella outbreak.
This is a salmonella outbreak. It's linked to recalled eggs. It has sickened at least 95 people across the U.S. It's being investigated by the CDC. So California-based Country Eggs issued this recall for its large brown cage-free sunshine yolk eggs. These cases have been reported in 13 states so far. Indiana is not impacted. California has reported the highest number of cases. Well, fertilizer prices are surging, eroding farmers' profits and adding pressure on the Trump administration to slash tariffs on key crop nutrients. Tightening supplies and tariff concerns have driven up costs for potash, nitrogen, and phosphate-based products, just as farmers are earning less for their harvests. Now, a North American benchmark of fertilizer prices recently surged to the highest level since at least 2016. And Cracker Barrel has removed the Pride section of its webpage and made changes to its business resource groups. Cracker Barrel previously sponsored the 2024 Nashville Pride Parade and unveiled a line of rainbow-colored rocking chairs for Pride Month. The company also has an LGBT business resource group called the LGBTQ+ Alliance, along with groups for veterans and other communities. And the U.S. economy grew faster in the spring than initially estimated. Economists believe AI investment is helping mask some of the weakness elsewhere in the economy caused by tariffs. So that stronger than expected economic growth report boosted stocks. And in fact, all three major averages closed at record highs yesterday. Now, the markets will be closed Monday for Labor Day, and this morning we're pointing to a lower start. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King.
Week 2 of high school football is here. Our Wish TV Game of the Week features two top teams that know each other very well, Westfield and Carmel, Hamilton County neighbors. Colin Bailey went to Carmel High School this morning.
Tim Ferriss, thanks for joining us. Talk about this. It's week 2 of high school football. The band, the cheerleaders, the students are out here. What does this mean?
It's just fun. You know, it's a lot of school spirit. Great way to start the school year, just having full energy in the hallways, and look forward to a beautiful night tonight.
Talk a little bit about tonight, obviously. Big matchup. Battle of Hamilton County, Westfield taking on, obviously, the Greyhounds. How big of a game is this? It's your home opener.
Yeah, this is the home opener. We're under construction. A lot of respect for Westfield. They've been very, very good. And it's just a good test early in the season, see where you're at, and then hopefully meet again in the postseason.
What makes this school so special and this community so special to have this many people out here this early at 6:30 in the morning on a Friday?
We expect excellence in Carmel, you know, and our kids show up every day and our staff, and it's just a really, really special community, and I'm fortunate to be a part of it.
Thanks for joining. You mentioned excellence. Busy building championships, that sign says. We'll be here all morning long. The cheerleaders, the student section, the band. It's going to be a great morning. Carmel, Westfield tonight, 7 p.m. on My Indy 23. For now, here at Carmel High School, I'm Colin Bailey for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
After the game switch to Wish TV, we'll have 22 local high school football games on the zone tonight. A Hoosier hitting hero has homered into history again. Kyle Schwarber's storybook season has a new chapter. We'll go through it blast by blast. Phillies and Braves in Philadelphia. Bottom of the first. Atlanta already up big, but Schwarber leads off with a long blast down the right field. Fourth inning, Schwarber up again and hits another long drive to the right as the Phillies start blowing out the Braves. Bottom of the fifth, Schwarber shows opposite field power, flipped one just over the left field fence in it was his third in the game, and 48th of the season. It was a new career high. Seventh inning, the historic clout, a rocket to the right that makes him the 21st player in Major League Baseball history to hit 4 homers in a game. Next inning, he had a shot at making it 5, which no one has ever done. At the plate against an infielder dragged into pitching duty, Schwarber hits a towering pop-up, but didn't get the home run. Phillies win 19-4. Schwarber also sets Phillies franchise record with 9 runs batted in. 4 home runs. Amazing stuff. The Hoosier Lottery says a group of 5 people from Columbus won almost $10 million on one ticket. The group is called Millie's Lottery Pool, and they won the Hoosier Lotto jackpot. They sent us pictures, too, of Millie as she accepted the big check. She has a lottery YouTube channel called Old Lady Scratcher where she posts updates to the group, but she says that she forgot to add the ticket this time. She eventually did post, OMG, everyone, we hit it, we won. The lump sum cash prize is more than $4 million, and the group plans to split it 5 ways. Taco Bell is bringing back some extinct menu items. The chain is calling it the Decade's Y2K menu. Back on the menu soon, chili cheese burrito, caramel apple empanada, the double-decker taco, 7-layer burrito, cool ranch Doritos Locos Tacos. They're due back on the menu soon, September 9th. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.